You know, it really hasn't because Argyle didn't play until Saturday, and so we didn't get film trade until Sunday morning. And so all we've been doing is just breaking down film and trying to get a game plan put together with a day less work. And so we've just been chasing our tails right now, trying to get a plan put together.
Going back to the four, going back to Jay, what will determine if he's able to play or not? I mean, is it a matter of, I guess?
There's just a lot of situations, and we'll just see how it goes. We have a great plan for both. Our kids are ready to play either way, and so I know we'll be ready to go come Friday.
Coach, talk about Derek's play. Having to come in that very beginning of the game, and your sophomore quarterback who'd only thrown 4 passes during the season did a tremendous job.
Yeah, you know what people don't get to see. You know, when people talk about us kicking that field goal and various situations in the game last week, is they don't get to see what we see all the time in practice. And if you came to our practice, other than Jay's leadership, his presence, how he elevates everybody, you'd watch him practice, you really wouldn't know which one was a starting practice. You know, that kid's that talented. And so we felt confident when he got in, and as he settled in, he made some really big throws, and I was really proud of him. But probably the most proud I was how our kids rallied around him.
What differences can you elaborate on will be in the game plan, whether it's Jay or Darius being as quarterback?
None, no differences whatsoever. We're gonna fire every bullet we got, and that's what I told Todd on the headsets, you know, last Friday is you don't back down one bit. You call it just like you would always call it, Todd. And he said, yes, sir, and that's what he did.
Like, so you've had several games where you've been ahead, and my phone blew up. We won from so many of your fans. What was that like?
Well, it was exciting, you know. I mean, to be down 14-7 going into the fourth quarter, you know, like we just never felt like we weren't going to get it done, and we always believed. And you know, we made a big play, and Joe made a great run off just a little quick screen and tied it up. And our defense kept fighting and giving us the ball back and drive down. And there was a 4th down situation, and we had to, you know, make some kind of decision on whether to go for it or kick a field goal. And it goes back to what we were talking about. I watch that kid kick all the time, guys. He is really good at what he does, and you've got to believe in your guys if you're going to put them out there. And we believe he was going to make it. He did, but you could see on the sideline from the video it was a pretty emotional deal.
Obviously, Argyle didn't have any chinks in the arm or whatever you want to call it, but the quarterback, Blake, seems to be like their trigger guy.
Yeah.
Can you talk on him? He's got like 40 touchdowns, 4 picks, tough to turn over, things like that.
I think that he's a player for a lot of reasons. Obviously, he's extremely talented. He understands their scheme and what they're trying to get done. And by the way, it's a simple scheme, but it's really, really effective. And then I would say he probably has some of those stats because of their offensive line. They are big and physical and protect him and give him a lot of time to throw the football. Talented wide receivers, got an all-state wide receiver that can just flat fly. And he's not the only one. Very deep at running back. So, you know, they have a great team. I mean, let's just face it, they do.
If Darius is the one playing quarterback, how much of an advantage will he have with Jay being kind of like another coach on the sideline for him?
You know, I hadn't even thought about that, but I really don't know. That's a great question.
I know you analyzed some things. What can you give us a couple of keys? I know it's kind of a corny question, but what are you thinking going in?
You know, I think it's really, really important from playing a talented team like this one was fixing to play. You know, is handling everything the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game and settling in and starting to play your game. I can remember we played probably one of the most prolific football teams ever in Aledo. And, you know, we started off shaky, we turned the ball over and did a couple of goofy things, and all of a sudden you look up and it's 3 minutes in and it's 21-0. So our deal is we've got to really play well those first 3 or 4 minutes, settle into our game, and just go play hard after that.
You mentioned a couple weeks ago that you had a 12-0 team, and they kind of paved the way for what this team's doing now. What did you learn in that team in that year going so far that's allowing and helping you this year?
You know, I think to have an experienced staff is very important, and guys that have been in those situations. And, you know, we went back and reflected on some of the things that year and the things we did well and the things that we felt like, gosh, we could have done this better. And the big key right now, guys, is our kids are having so much fun. They're having fun at practice. They're having fun playing the game. And they're not tired of anything. They aren't. I mean, you saw in the dressing room, we talked about what are we gonna do next Monday? We're gonna practice, and they just go crazy. And they'll feel that, they felt that way Monday, and they'll practice their tails off today.
Have you allowed yourself the chance to dream what it'd be like to coach in Jerry's world?
I think every coach, every kid, every person dreams about that, but not here recently, but, gosh, who wouldn't have that as a goal? If you don't, there's something wrong with you, you need loyalty after something.